Hey, good morning. Yes, Bill Gates' holiday road trip. Now, I'm not going to show you the video footage, but just look at the symbolism because you could watch these videos and not listen to a word they say, and you would get so much out of them. Yeah, he's had a few of the videos, and I haven't covered them, and I'm not going to cover but two of them right now. It's the five of all my all-time favorite books and the best sci-fi novel I read as a child. That's the two that we're going to look at. And here we go with the five of my all-time favorite books. Yeah, really? He has this every year. I have my other video. I think it's on my fourth or fifth. I'll add the link to the bottom here. But here we go. Holiday road trip. There he goes. Right? And he's driving in this tiny, tiny car. Maybe trying to show that he's so green. I don't know. But that's the kind of car he belongs in if having a car at all. But hey, he shares his books. The inner game of tennis. Oh, there's an inner game going on within Freemasonry. People on the inner circle don't tell many people on the other outer circle really what's happening. And stranger in a strange land. Yeah, I feel like a stranger in a strange land too. I've moved back to Finland after being born in Canada, living in the States, but all my heritage is from Finland. So even though that is the case, I still feel like a stranger in my land. And then he looks at Team of Rivals, Abraham Lincoln. I don't have time to look at all the symbolism, but you guys know who he is, right? But also a couple other books, including Bono. Really? Surrender. Did he surrender all? I used to think he was a Christian, but no, 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 no. He's a part of the club too. There you have the list of books, and how he says they're his favorites. And there was a few things I noticed in here, including this list. There's probably a whole lot more to what this list means, but number 58, I find it interesting. Not even the number and its meaning, and that it equals to 13, by the way, but Noida. If you change the D to a T, which is in Finland very similar, it means witch. So you'll see another bewitching a little bit later, but let's go on to where he visited. He was in Kirkland, Washington, right? He was in New Delhi, India. He went to Cambridge, Massachusetts. Oh, Cambridge, yeah, the university I think that he's a part of. But Johannesburg, South Africa, as well as Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. I'm just thinking here, to those who are worried about climate change and all the pollution, he flew with this little car to all these areas and put some books into people's mailboxes. What are your thoughts about climate change and a bill, going to all these places? And, do you believe that he was worried about pollution? Do you think he was trying to save gas? Is he worried about any of these things? I'm just saying there's a little, line of where he flew from. My goodness. And I think you know the answer on who and his worry, his concern about all these things are. No, it's all smoke and mirrors, as they say. Maybe you'd like the term that, do as we say, not as we do. That's exactly what they're doing. But I wanted to look at the writers of these books, So we have Tim Galloway, Robert Heinlein, Doris Goodwin, Bono, and even the gentleman here on the bottom. Oh, I didn't even have his name there. Oh, there we go. Paul Strathern. So there you have the books that he mentioned. And of course, Bono, we know he's a part of that same club, the Rotary Club, Yeah. And Christmas Book Elf. Yeah, he's an elf, all right. I'd like to call him many other things, but anyway, those were his books and how he journeyed all around the world sharing these favorite books of his. Then we get to this other video. It was quite fascinating. Please go take a look. You don't need to have the volume, like I said, because you'll see many things. It's actually sometimes better not to have the volume on, so you see and understand some things. Now here with this picture here, this rocket ship flying and how it's breaking apart, first thing I thought of was this. I don't know about you, but that's where I went to in my thoughts. But then, of course, they show here Clark, Asimov, and Heinlein. Really? And as well as Saturn. They have to show that Saturn there, right? All the time. And if you're unaware of what that is and the meaning behind it, it means black cube. It means Satan. There's many meanings to this. So look at all my other videos and you'll catch on. if this is all new to you. But most of you are totally aware of this. But here we go. Arthur C. Clarke. There you have. He's from England. He's got several awards. I'm not going to go into that. But there was a connection here. They're all a part of the Science Fiction Fantasy Writers Association. It's a club. And yeah, Clarke got his master's in 87. Isaac Asimov got his Grand Master in 85, and he's a Russian Jewish man. And Robert A. Heinlein, he got his Grand Master in 1974, and he's a German American. So there you have just a little bit of a taste, and they've all got several types of awards, and I'm not going to get into them, but that was the connection at least. But what other things did I notice? Of course, you're noticing that symbol there, and maybe that symbol, and what came to my mind, yeah, the obelisk, the pyramid. That's what they're showing you right there. But hey, I also thought of mind control, because when they zoomed out or changed the picture a little, you had 6 young boys, and they're all wearing helmets. Helmets. Well, I thought of the Brady Bunch, first of all, 6 children. Right? Don't talk to them. Don't look for that episode of the measles, because that was just fake news, right? Right. But I thought about mind reading helmets, how they've done research into this, and, military looking into that, and various other people, I'm sure, yeah. But they show us the helmets, and then they show us a guy there, and he's inside a black cube, and it goes from black to white. Interesting, right? No, there's nothing. There's no symbolism here, right? No, it can't be the black cube or any of that same symbolism. Just pointing a few things out, but there's so much more. It's so much more complicated, right? That's what they want us to think. That's what they want us to think. Don't put 2 and 2 together for yourself, please. Don't look at their partners, their affiliates, their connections. No, don't test anything. Just listen to what we say and do as we say for you to do. So, with this here, it looked like more mind control, right? And then you have a bottle going around I don't know what planet they're wanting that to be, but it's milk. Milk bottle going around and looking like Saturn. If you don't know the symbolism of milk, you can't make this stuff up. That's all I can say. It's unbelievable. Milk is actually MLK, or Molech, Moloch. Child sacrifice, many other things go along with this. And then the child there, the baby, is in a red crib. Red meaning fire, death. There's so much meaning to this, but unbelievable. Please share your thoughts. I'm probably going to miss something, but we used to see children's pictures on missing milk cartons. Yeah. And how much meaning that actually had to it. I have a video that touches on this. I can't remember. I'll see if I can find it, and I'll share it below. But they love the number 3. So they have 3 astronauts, coming down. And it actually kind of looked like a Baphomet if you looked really quickly. But anyway, we know they love counting to 3. And then he goes into fire. Well, even the Bible speaks of, going into fire, but we know that they love to sacrifice, and even the Bible shares about how they sacrificed their firstborns, and it was into fire. And he talks about grok, whatever that terminology is, I don't know, and honestly I don't care, but there goes your brain. It's flying. If you're trusting in them, that's where your brain is off. It's off. But grok, you can look at the meaning of that, to conceive, to decode. So they're wanting you to decode what they're saying, is what I'm thinking with this. But of course they go to look at the 60s, and of course you have to have the sun worship here, the sun symbolism, and more brains right there off to the left. And this is where it gets weird and you're gonna laugh. It's the one eye symbolism right there. Unbelievable. I can't make this stuff up. You have to laugh. You have to laugh, because it's not only the one eye symbolism, it's the mind control all at once. And people aren't getting it. They're not getting it. There's the one eye, and then they start to show you scales. and the eyes are blinking, and you're seeing one eye symbolism. They're going up, they're going down. You know, it looks like the two-ball cane, right? Right? Just like the Facebook is exactly that, the two balls and a cane. Oh my goodness. It goes from blue and it goes to red, and like I said, they're blinking and showing you the one eye the whole time, and they love the blue and red, you know, the opposites of each other, right? Just like we have opposites, Democrats, Republicans, but they're in control of it all. We know that Lucifer, Satan, is in control of this world right now. This is in his control. And of course, he wants everything off balance. That's what I'm thinking of when I saw that right here. It's off balance and everything starts to lose control. Things are changing, right? And I always say everything in moderation, even with eating, with all kinds of things. Have a balance, even in your diet, right? And we know that God is a God of author. He's not a God of confusion. You know, he's a God of peace. And so I also thought of this verse right here, watch ye therefore and pray always that you may be counted worthy to escape all these things that shall come to pass, because there are some things coming. I wasn't going to put that in here, but I just really I felt like I had to have it there. So he has this book, Stranger in a Strange Land. That's the book he's looking at. And then they show this right here. Very unusual, you know, because going to the moon was deception. They lost that technology, Mr. Little said, right? And it reminded me of MASH with the helmet on his head. I'm just, you know, it shows my age a little bit, but it doesn't matter. And it also got me to think of Gomer Pylon. I don't know why that name came to mind. And maybe that will mean something. You know, he died a few years back on the 30th of November. And they do look a little bit, you know, similar right there. I'm just saying. I could be way off. But, of course, they had to bring in the broom. And, yes, the three colors blending into one. But maybe we've all been bewitched by all the shows. Yeah, we have been. By watching all these shows, right? Well, yeah, I think we have if we've been watching TV, but this was the end of even his video, or very close to it. But then you see some things breaking apart. I thought of cracking or falling apart, how, you know, they think they can break the glass ceiling. Yeah, and then they show, of course, Bill. I stopped it here. I don't think we need to see any more. We know who he is, right? We understand what club he belongs to, just like all the rest of them. And I tried to keep this short. I really did, without showing you any of his footage. But if you do watch, please do. It's very interesting to watch with no sound. Share your thoughts. All I can say is, if they take me down, you know where I'm going to be. Otherwise, God bless, take care, and I hope you have a great Thanksgiving. Till next time.
You know, the endings were always kind of tidy, which in this case, Stranger in a Strange Land, the end is not that tidy. You kind of don't know what to think. The author's kind of telling you, hey, the future of humanity is pretty unclear as well. The future of humanity is pretty unclear as well.